with your host, Upper Perkiomen School District Superintendent, Dr. Alan Roche.
Welcome to our February episode of Inside Upper Perk, the Superintendent's View podcast. It is hard to believe that we're past the midpoint of the school year and now midway through the winter. I have to share that I was happy to call the first traditional snow day of the school year a few weeks ago, as it was the first true snow day our students and staff have had over the past few years. To be honest, it was one of the easier calls, as the snow started on Sunday, was going good through the day, and didn't finish up until Monday morning, so we were able to make the call as early as possible on Sunday afternoon. Right now, the only trouble is all the huge snow piles that are around town, that are on the bus stops, and there's obviously a lot of super low temperatures that haven't given us the opportunity to see the snow melt at all. But don't worry, spring's around the corner, and we have a few weeks left of winter, so hang in there, and hopefully we'll get through it. February also brings forward the first Upper Perkiomen Innovation Fair on Thursday, February 26th at 6:30 p.m. at the Upper Perkiomen Middle School. With a week to go before the registration closes, we currently have 15 submissions of innovative ideas that are going to be presented at the fair, and we hope to get another 10 to 15 in the next week or so. So I want to thank everyone that has already submitted their presentation ideas. It is going to be a great opportunity for the community to come together. Just to share, we have 6 presentations from students, 4 from administrators, a teacher, a parent, and 3 community organizations at this time. So if you have any interest, feel free to make a submission. As we get closer to the Innovation Fair, we're hoping that we get a huge community turnout to come through and listen to all of the presentations. So take a look at your schedule right now and see if you can't put it on your calendar. We need students, parents, teachers, administrators, school board members, alumni, and the entire community to stop by between 6:30 and 8 o'clock at the middle school to walk the aisles and support our volunteers that have putting their ideas out there. Also, if you have not had a chance to see the middle school yet, from 6:30 to 7:30 on the same night, we have middle school students that will be giving tours of the middle school for anyone that would like that. So we hope to see you out at the Innovation Fair. Before we welcome our 2 guests to the podcast, I want to give 2 quick commercials and encourage everyone to consider attending both the spring musical at the middle school and at the high school. Upper Perk Middle School is putting on Susical Jr. on Friday, February 27th and Saturday, February 28th. And then the high school show, The Addams Family, will take place on Friday, March 13th, Saturday, March 14th, and Sunday, March 15th. Please, if you haven't had an opportunity to come out and see one of our shows, or if you have seen one of the shows, it is a great opportunity to see our students shine. So the information for tickets is available on the school websites. I hope to see you there. So at this time, let's get ready and welcome our 2 guests for today's episode. Our first guest today is an administrator in our district who plays a huge role in all of our schools being stocked with everything needed. He oversees transportation and food service, as well as plays a role in the overall financial health of Upper Perk, and has a reputation for lovely presentations from some of our board members. Yep, you guessed it. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Drew Bishop to the podcast today.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on.
We appreciate your ability to adjust and join us.
Of course.
Yes. So tell our listeners to the podcast, all 250 listeners that we have at this time, or maybe that's what we used to have, a little about yourself and what led you into the business side of education.
Sure. So grew up in Quakertown, ended up going to Bloomsburg, and then from there got a job with a local accounting firm in Quakertown who half of their business was auditing school districts. So that got me exposed to that area. So
this is when you were an auditor.
Correct.
Right.
Yes, I was an auditor. Audit for half the year and then taxes for the other half.
Okay.
Knew that I didn't want to do taxes for the rest of my life. Position opened up at a local school district, so I applied for the assistant business manager job. Got that in 2006, and I was there until I was there as the assistant business manager until 2013. Then became the business manager, and then in 2023 came here.
Right. We stole you away.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm thrilled.
And we're happy that you're here as well. So next question is a little bit of a statement and then a question. So that your official title is business administrator. In other places, I've seen business manager, I've seen CFO, as well as business administrator. So what are your thoughts on the job title? I know it probably doesn't matter, but there's so many different renditions of that.
Yeah, there are. I honestly don't really care what my title is, but...
Superintendent?
No, I don't want that title. But I do believe business administrator specifically is mentioned in school code, so that just seems like the logical one. But yeah, there are many different names and titles for this position.
Well, we're glad that you're here as our business administrator. So, as I mentioned in your introduction, you oversee both transportation and food service, two huge aspects of getting every student to and from school safely, as well as having the opportunity for breakfast and lunch, the most important things, obviously, in addition to safety. So, what are some of your other primary responsibilities as a business administrator that maybe not everyone doesn't know falls under you?
Sure. So probably the one that we really don't think about a lot is the liability insurance side of things. So making sure the property is covered, policies are in place. A lot of dealing with the long-term finances of the district. So debt service, we do have bond issues, sort of overseeing that. Probably the biggest thing is really the finances of the district, the accounting side of it, dealing with the local auditors. We are required to have a CPA firm come out and do a financial audit every year. So, along with all the business office team, just working with the auditors. The state likes to come out and do some audits as well. So I'm usually the sort of point person for that audit. And then, of course, the biggest one is obviously the budget.
Right.
So working with all the administrators and staff and presenting to the school board. But yeah, those are things that really take up the most amount of my time.
Right. But also under you is probably one of the most important things to all of our staff is payroll.
Payroll, yes, that's true.
Payroll and benefits and those type of things, which keep the train going for everyone.
Yeah, that is one of probably the most important thing to most of our staff.
Right. Yes. Yes. So right now we're in the middle. You mentioned budget for budgeting for next school year. That usually starts October for the next school year. So just can you give us a quick overview of the process for preparing next year's budget, what that looks like? And then maybe is there something that families or the community would not be aware of as a part of the budget process that's like, oh, I never thought about that?
Yeah, sure. So you're right. It gears up more in October, but we do, you come out with the 10th day enrollment figures. So that's pretty much when I start building up some of the budget spreadsheets.
So about September 19th or 20th every year, the budget starts for next year.
Yeah. Actually, I could go back even further. Over the summer, I usually tend to start working on some of the debt service because that's really...
Now you're showing off.
Yeah.
Now you're showing off.
That's all fixed, so I can start doing that whenever. But it does start very early in the year. And then, into October and November, we do really get into really the presentations with the board and digging through, having all the administrators work through all their budgets. That's the bulk of it right there. That's the starting process of the budget. As far as what I want people to know, I think a lot of times we start hearing about zero-based budgeting, and I do think it's important to know that except for our buildings, because we do give an allocation per student, every other budget in the budget is zero-based. So we don't start out with, here's your allocation from last year, let's just add on to it. Everybody comes with everything that they need for every year. So we do...
Some of those things may be reoccurring.
Yes,
because they still need this or still need that.
Correct.
But it's not this is the amount and then build from there.
Correct.
You build it up from the bottom.
Yep. And another thing, too, is by school code, we're not allowed to overspend our expenditure budget. So we have to sort of come in with a very conservative look at things, and then we do tend to sort of pare it back as we are going through the budget process from November all the way through into June.
Right.
So we do need to be conservative because we're not legally allowed to overspend that expenditure budget. And just a couple more things real quick. Upper Perk is 67% locally funded, so all the local revenues
6-7?
That's true. So yeah, 67% locally funded. That's your real estate taxes, your earned income taxes, and just all the other local funds that we receive. We do get 32% from the state, and we're right around 1% of federal funded. And also, real quick, 39% of the budget is salaries and 24% is benefits for those staff. So 63% of our total expenditure budget is staffing.
Including in that 63, is that the
Correct.
piece to that puzzle?
Yes. Yeah, which is, and a lot that in particular is a state mandate, so we have no say in any of that. We get the dollar amount that we have to contribute, and that's what we have to pay. So we don't have any discretion in that number.
Right. So you just have a percent
Correct.
or a number, and you have to budget that way.
Yep.
Right. All right. I thought you were going to head into the balance of the revenue versus expenditures, because the revenues play a huge role in how much things, if the revenues from many different things can help impact the budget tremendously.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, there's always a lot of scrutiny on the real estate taxes, but there's fees that we charge students for different activities. I mean, there's just so many different things that make up that local revenue amount.
Right. So what's the favorite part of your job? You just shared all the numbers and that piece, but what's your favorite part?
I think, and maybe I've just been lucky everywhere that I've worked in education, but there's always good teamwork with everybody, all the administrators that are in there. So, if there's a problem that needs solving, you have, 4 or 5 different people at the table. Each of them has their expertise. And I just enjoy being a part of that group. I couldn't walk in and solve the problem myself because I don't have the, instructional side of education in my background, but I just enjoy being a part of that conversation and problem solving.
All right, so I'm going to bring the conversation down a little bit and just talk about taxes, because we know that's the thing actually today, talking to some students about the Innovation Fair, the goal of not raising taxes as little as we can. So is there anything about taxes and working with the tax collectors and the school board that we should tell people outside of education or, in our community about taxes?
Right now, the way the Constitution is for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, real estate taxes are pretty much the only way that we can get, like I said, 67% is locally funded, and probably 80% of that is real estate taxes. Right. So that's our only option right now. Obviously, nobody likes increasing taxes.
Right.
I pay taxes where I live. I don't want to see them go up. But that is how we are statutorily funded right now through the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Right. Yep. So as we're wrapping up here, is there a fun fact or a hobby that most people in the district might not know that you participate in or you're a fan of?
I think most people know everything. Maybe not this one. I got into many years ago. I got into fly fishing, even to the point where I was tying my own flies. I got a fish hanging on my wall in the office. That's one that I caught up in, I think it's either Potter or Tioga County.
In the office here?
In my office here,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So I got to hang it up. It was a Palomino trout, about 14 inches. One of the best fish I ever caught. But probably I had a lot more time before kids, so I was really into tying my own flies, and I just love fly fishing. It's just a lot of fun.
Right. Well, there'll be time moving forward to probably get back to that as the kids grow up. Great. Well, thanks again, Mr. Bishop, for joining me today. Any final thoughts or anything you want to share as we're signing off here?
No, just I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate the podcast in general, getting this out to everybody in the community, and I'm just thrilled to be here. It's going on almost 4 years here, and I've just enjoyed every moment of it.
Great. Thanks. So let's stay tuned for our next guest on the episode of Inside Upper Perk, the Superintendent's View, as we get a chance to talk with an Upper Perkiomen High School student. And now, for our next guest on the podcast, I'm lucky to be joined today by Upper Perkiomen High School Senior Class President and Student Rep to the School Board, Ruth Padilla. Ruth, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and what it's like being a student at our high school.
I'm 18 years old. I've been at Upper Perk since my kindergarten year. I went to Marlboro.
That's right. You said Marlboro.
Yes. I'm involved in sports, clubs, extracurriculars in general at the school. I've been doing that since middle school. And fortunately, I've had a lot of opportunity here at Upper Perk.
Great. Did you get a chance to have both the old Jefferson Street Middle School and the new middle school, or did you jump the new middle school?
I was the year where we started freshly in the new middle school, but I do have siblings who went to the old middle school.
Right. So you went right from Marlboro into the new middle school?
Yes.
And, was that COVID year?
Yes.
Okay, so you were there for a little while and then home for a while. So, yeah, those are some very interesting experiences.
For sure.
So if you reflect on your time at the high school. Was there a class or an activity or experience that really hasn't had an impact on who you are?
I feel like, especially with the fact that I want to go into the medical field, the science courses that we're allowed to choose from all of our high school years really like make me feel prepared post high school, because there's a lot of different pathways even in the scientific classes and choices or whatnot.
Any one class that stands out, or any teacher rock stars you want to give a shout out to?
Mr. Austin's AP Bio and Honors Anatomy class.
Okay.
For sure, because he teaches at a pace where, and I know because I have friends who graduated from Upper Perk and followed into the medical field. The way that he teaches the class and gets us involved in the notes that we take specifically, because we have to print out our own notes in this huge book. They really do help post high school, and those notes, you can take them with you into college. And my brother, who recently took the MCAT, he used my old AP Bio notes.
That's great.
So
when you talk to those people, your brother, an example, or anyone else that's already graduated, do you get a sense that they feel like they're prepared for the challenges that they get in college or in these MCATs, those type of things, from their time at Upper Perk?
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like even people who are freshly graduated or a few years graduated, they always say that even when they were in school, they were like, nah, it won't matter, in the future. They did use a lot of the skills they learned, both academically and just life-wise, from Upper Perk.
Great, that's good to hear. So when you're not in class or you're not doing things at the school board or for the senior class, how do you spend your free time, if you have any?
I like to work out. I'm a big sports person, but I mostly just run and work out at the gym. I have a job. I work at Tosco's.
Okay.
I feel like I see a lot of the...
I was going to say, a lot of people work at Tosco's.
I see a lot of the town. A lot of town works there. And, yeah, I like to spend time with my friends and family.
Yeah. Actually, Tosco's is doing a lot more social media lately. I see that. I walk in, they have the microphone on, and I'm trying to stay out of the picture. So what do you enjoy most about representing the high school senior class and the high school students at board meetings?
I like giving just intel back, I guess, because when students have questions about what's going on at school or why did we get, with the asbestos and all that, why did it take so long or whatever, and I get to explain, stuff that most people don't really think about and what goes into all the decision-making process. And then otherwise, if any students have any concerns, I can say I can bring it up. Or especially when you guys do you check in during the year and you ask questions about what we see going on. I feel like it gives a good opportunity to give feedback specifically from the students.
So it sounds like you feel like you have a voice. You feel your voice matters. You can share that information, especially as a good example, right? Why it was mostly the summer, but yet the rooms weren't quite ready. The science room, Mr. Austin's room, wasn't quite ready, type of thing for that. So that took a little longer than expected. So that's good to hear. Good to hear. What about sitting at the board table? Any surprises? Anything that's been something you're going to take with you? We joked about learning a lot at the table and that type of thing. It's a different experience when you're up there. And anything that take away from that?
The one thing that really stuck with me was, and I know this is kind of random, but when the representative from the Red Hill Library came in and spoke of all the opportunities that the library gives to the community, as well as the homeless shelters and stuff like that throughout town when it's severe weather.
Right.
That really stuck to me, and I think about that a lot. And I grew up going to the Red Hill Library.
Okay.
And then at one point I was like, I can buy my own books. I don't really need it. But now that I think about it, it's they do a lot, and they're kind of hidden in the corner. Yeah,
it can be a community hub. I mean, we've had meetings. We've had our meetings there. Our coffee is to try to meet with people. And I know the chamber just held an event at the library as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you think, what's important as you're sitting here, and we'll hopefully have some adults that will listen, what's important for adults in our community, parents, to know what's going on from a high school and for our students in general?
I would say that, especially as a senior, because a lot of kids are ready to go to college and move on, most of them are still pretty nervous, and there's a lot of back and forth between I'm ready to get out of here and just like start my new life, and then most of them are also like, I'm going to miss everything and I want to take things slow and make memorandums of their last year. And even though it seems like a lot of people have senioritis,
yes,
which I would be a great case of that, but that everyone's still really trying and is looking forward to graduating and everything.
Yeah. You're aware of that new legislation that's being passed through Pennsylvania about a potential K-12 cell phone ban.
Yep.
And Dr. Farina met with some students, and we heard loud and clear that that wasn't really well received. What's your take on it? Do you think that's a good idea to restrict a little bit more on the cell phones, or do you think it's at a point where we're okay? I mean, the teachers have control.
Right.
If they ask you to take it out, you can take it out. If they ask you to put it away, students put it away.
I would say, like, I've had my phone taken for a long time, obviously this summer. But I would say that it makes sense, specifically because I know in a lot of different classes, some kids can't put the phones down, and in some of my classes specifically, we can, and it's fine. It's out of, like, the way, especially in Mr. and Mrs. Austin's class. We've never really been stuck to our phones. We're always engaged in the content.
That's good.
But I do understand why they want to make a ban, because it is a really big distraction. And when there's time for us to do work, maybe at the end of class or something like that, or like an IE,
right,
kids will spend the majority of that time on their phones.
Right.
And they don't get the opportunity to receive help from their teachers and such.
Plus, it most likely won't impact you if you're graduating, right? Sure. So I've been flirting with an idea of making, we have some upcoming fundraisers, those type of things, putting out there a be the superintendent for the day, that type of thing, where we have students that would, take over my role for the day. What would be something, hypothetically, if you were superintendent for a day, what would be something that you would like to do to help improve or change here at Upper Perk? Besides calling snow days every day.
I mean, I know a lot of kids genuinely do like when you guys pop in and when it's like Great Kindness Week and you come in with a big orange hat. Maybe just more interaction with the students, giving them a chance to, because a lot of people don't know who's on the school board or anything.
Right.
So
we actually just spent a day last week with the school board out there. You provided a tour for us.
Yeah.
But that was a good experience for everyone involved.
Right. So I feel like if more people knew who you guys were and were able to have more friendly interactions and stuff, more than just like seeing you guys in the hallway.
Sure. That's good. I appreciate that feedback.
Yeah.
So as you prepare to graduate, what do you hope people remember about your time serving on the board or your time as senior class president? Think 5-10 years from now, your graduating class. What do you want them to remember about Upper Perk or about the role that you played as their president?
I just think that I would like people to remember the impact, not just me, but like everyone in my grade has made. We have a lot of great athletes. We have a lot of very talented people in the arts, in not just like band, orchestra, choir, but in the musical, painting, ceramics, stuff like that. I know we have really good debaters on the debate team. I think that the class of 2026 will be missed.
Right.
I think that
they're leaving an impact, an impression. Good.
For sure. And also, I would like to plug the vending machines that we got.
Okay, there you go.
But
that's going to be Mr. Flanagan's, greatest thing ever was getting those vending machines in there.
Yeah.
It's so funny. That's great. All right. Well, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate the conversation. It was nice to learn a little bit more about you. I look forward to finishing the year on the board and I'll take some advice from you in terms of getting involved. I'd love to be at the schools a lot more. So hopefully we'll see you at the Innovation Fair coming up in a couple of weeks to participate, or at least to walk through and see some of the ideas.
Yeah, I've seen the flyers everywhere.
Good. That's good to hear. We're trying. Yeah. So, all right. Any final thoughts?
No, I think I'm all set.
Great. Well, I appreciate your willingness to join me here, and great talking with you.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.